All right, boys and girls, we're going to go over today adding and subtracting fractions that have unlike denominators. So go ahead and get a piece of paper or whiteboard at home, and let's work on this one together. So we got 1/4 plus 1/2. Okay. So first step is want to look at is your denominator alike? So let's go ahead and work this one together. So 1/4 plus 1/2. So we got first step is look at your denominator. Are they alike? The same. So we don't have the same denominator. So we need to find the equivalent fractions to make them the same. So let's write out. We got 2 and 4. Let's write out all the factors of 2. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Okay, 10. Let's find out the factors of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16. So let's find the lowest common factor. So we know that 12 fits, but if we keep going this way, we have a 4 and a 4. So we're going to convert the denominators to have a 4. So the 1/4 is perfect, so we're done with that one. We don't need to change it. We need to find the equivalent fraction of 1/2. So 1/2 equals something fourths. Okay. So what is the equivalent fraction of this one? So let's go back to our factors. Let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how do we go from 2 to a 4? In this case, we need to multiply. We need to multiply the numerator and denominator by same factor. And if you got asked, how do I go from 2 to 4? Or what number do I multiply 2 by to get to 4? And if you don't remember, just add. Just count. 1, 2. Okay. So 2. What I did to the denominator, I'm going to do to the numerator. So 2 times 2 equals 4. So 2 times 1 equals 2. So now we have 2 4s. Are they now the same? So now I'm going to go convert 1/2 equals 2 4s. So now let's go ahead and add up. Erase all this. One fourth plus 2 4s. And we're going to keep our denominator. When they're the same, you keep. And then we're going to add. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. So let's go ahead and show what that looks like. So remember, 3 4 is our answer. So I'm going to put 3 4 over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and I got 1/4 and 1/2. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw it out. Let's do the 1/4 first. Okay. So 1/4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to shade this in. Okay. So this is a model. This is 1/4. Okay. Now I got to show 1/2. So 1/2 looks like this. There's 2 whole, and we're going to shade in just 1. Okay. Then we're going to add them together. So imagine putting this with this, and let's go ahead and move it to the left. So we're going to shade in the bottom part. Now we still have how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4. But how many are shaded? 3. So we got 4 whole, 3 shaded. So there you go. So do we have 3/4 in our answers? Yep. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
Find 2/3 plus 1/6.
So do we have like denominators? Well, we do not have like denominators. We have a 3 and a 6. So we need to have an equivalent fraction to add them up. Okay. So let's write our factors of 3, 3, 6, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay. We'll write a little better. 3, 6, 9, 12, and 6, 6, 12, 18. Now, what is the lowest common factor of 3 and 6? No, there's no 3 there. They both have a 6. So we know that this one already has a 6, so we're not going to change it. I'm not going to find the equivalent fraction. So what we want is a denominator of 6. So we're going to keep that one. So what do I need to multiply 3 by to get the 6? Well, let's count. 1, 2. And what I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. 3 times 2 is 6. And then 2 times 2 equals 4. Then we rewrite it. 4, 6 plus 1, 6. So we're going to keep, if your denominator is the same, we're going to keep, so we're going to just keep it. Then we're going to add our numerator. So 4 plus 1 equals 5. So you should have got 5, 6. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write 5, 6 over here. Now, what if you didn't recognize the 6? What if you used 12? Or what if you would have used 18? There's another strategy to find here, 15, 18. Another strategy is, well, I don't want to do all this. I'm just going to multiply 3 times 6. So let's go ahead and do that. Another strategy is if you don't want to write out the factors, a lot of times people will go, well, I'm just going to go 3 times 6. That equals 18. Okay. And we saw in our numbers, we got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Let's do our 6, 6, 12, 18, 24. So we know 18 does work, okay? So does 12, and so does 6. A lot of times, students will just go, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply and get 18. I'm going to use 18 as my equivalent fraction. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write 2/3 here, 1/6 here. So we need to find the equivalent fraction. So then I'm going to equal 18, 18. So we're looking for a common denominator, and we found it as 18. So what do I multiply 6 to get to 18. So let's count. 1, 2, 3. So I got to multiply my numerator and denominator by the same factor. 3 times 6 is 18. What I did to the denominator, I did to the numerator. So 3 times 1 is 3. Okay. Now let's look at 2/3. So 2/3 to 18. Well, so I need to either go 18 divided by 3, or I just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 times 6 equals 18. Okay. So what I do to the numerator, what I do to the denominator, I must do to the numerator. So I'm going to go 6 times 2 is 12. Now I have equivalent fractions, and they have the same denominator. So now let's go ahead and rewrite it. So we got 12, 18 plus 3, 18. So we have the same denominator. Yes. So we're going to keep it, and we're going to add our numerator. 12 plus 3 is 15. So we got 15 18s. Okay. Now, you could submit 15 18s. That is a correct answer. However, if you were to put it in and get it wrong, it's because sometimes the computer wants the simplest form. So let's go ahead and look at simplest form. We got, oops, so we got 5, 6. We got 15, 18. So how do we go from 5 to 15? You multiply by what number? 3. Okay. Now if I do 6 times 3, I get 18. That's correct. Okay. So you got to ask yourself, what is a common factor of 15 and 18? Which is going to be 3. And just divide it. So from this way, you multiply. And this way is you divide. So to find the simplest form, the simplest form is you divide by a common factor. You probably ask yourself, well, how are those the same? I can even do this. 5. You just multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. Okay. So let's go back to our screen. So 2/3 plus 1/6. So we know that we're keeping the 6, and that is our simple form. So we know that it's going to be either 5/6 or 3/6. Well, 3/6, the simple form is actually 1/2. We know it's this one. Okay.
What is 4/5 minus 3/10?
Common denominator. So do these have the same denominator? We don't. One is a 5, one's a 10. So let's go ahead and convert to equivalent fractions. So at this point, you should probably realize, oh, okay, I got 5, 10, 15. I got to stop right there because why? They're both the same. So we got 10, 20, 30. So we got 10 and 10. So we're going to keep the 3/10. But we need to find the equivalent fractions of 4/5. So 4/5 equals something 10. Something 10. Okay. So we're going to multiply that by a factor. So how do we go from, so what number do you multiply 5 by to get to 10. Well, if you don't remember, just use your factors. Just count 1, 2. Okay, so 2. Multiply denominator and numerator by the same factor. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8. Now I'm going to replace this 4/5 with 8/10. 8/10 subtract 3/10. And we're going to keep our denominator. That's the same denominator. If it's the same, we keep. Now we'll subtract our numerators. 5 subtract 3 is 5. Remember, it has to be a greater number. This number has to be greater than this one. If not, then we need to borrow from the whole number or the mixed number. And I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So we got 5/10, okay? But it's this simplest form. So is there a factor we can divide both the numerator and number by to get to a lower number? Well, yeah. So I could divide both numbers by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1/2 in here. So 1/2, and there's no hole. We keep it.
Which two fractions have a common denominator of 6?
Okay. So if you're looking for denominators of 6, so the quickest way is just to look at your denominators and multiply. Any of these numbers, if you multiply, it equals 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 6 and 12 is not 6. 3 times 18 is not 6. 2 times 3 is 6. So that's an easier way to find a common denominator 6. Now, 6 and 12 would be, what would be a common denominator? Well, it's not 6 because this starts at 12. So if you're going to write out, it'd be 12, 24, 36. And then the 6 is 6, 12. So that one doesn't work. This one doesn't work because if you count by 4, it's got 4, 8, 12. That doesn't work either. 18 doesn't work either. It's got 18 and 36. This one works. You got 2, 4, 6, 8. So let's write those out. 2. Let's go ahead and show you real quick why that works. Two, 4, 6, 8, 3, 3, 6, 9. So 6 works. So, or you can just multiply. 2 times 3 equals 6. That's a shortcut. All right, let's go on this one.
What is 1/2 plus 2/5? Enter a 0 or leave the whole number box blank to enter a fraction.
1/2 plus 2/5. Okay, so same thing. We need to find a common denominator. So let's go ahead and share. Now, you can write out your factors 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all that good stuff. You can go 5, 10, 15, 20, okay? Now, another way you can do it is just to multiply. So we'll go 2 times 5 equals 10. So let's make our denominators all 10s. So 1/2 equals something 10. 2/5 equals something 10, okay? So you can start with this route too. So what do I multiply 2 to get to 10? So you got, or what's 10 divided by 2? 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. What I did to the numerator, what I did to the denominator, I have to the numerator. So 5 times 1 is 5. Okay. Now we find our equivalent fraction. We're going to use this one. Okay, so down to this fraction. What number do I multiply 5 by to get to 10? Or what's 10 divided by 5? 2. 2 times 5 equals 10. So I can do that to the numerator. 2 times 2 equals 4. So I found the equivalent fractions of 1/2 and 2/5. So now we got 5/10 plus 4/10. We have the same denominator. Yes, we're going to keep it. Now we're going to add our numerator, 9/10. So in this way, instead of writing all the factors out, we just multiplied. 2 times 5 is 10. And we know that each denominator must have a 10. So we need to find the numerator by asking yourself, what factor do I multiply this denominator to get to 10? What factor do I want to multiply this factor with this denominator to get to 10? Most of the time, they're going to be different factors. In this one, it was 5. In this one, it was 2. Okay. So 9/10. Let's see if we're right. 9/10. And there's no whole number. Okay.
Which of the following have a common denominator of 18?
So which two denominators can you multiply to get 18? 10 times 8, that's 80. So no, that's wrong. 4 times 18, that's wrong too. 6 times 12, oh, that's 72, that's wrong. And 2 times 9, that's 18. So it has to be this one.
What is 2 and 2/3 plus 1 and 1/2?
2 and 2/3 plus 1 and 1/2. So go ahead and look at our mixed numbers. So 2 and 2/3 plus 1 and 1/2. So we need to add them up. Okay. So same concept is you gotta have alike denominators. You can't add up thirds and halves. You gotta have a common denominator. So we need to find, so they're not alike, so we need to find a different denominator. But we still have that whole number. So first step when you have a mix is to convert it to improper. So to convert to improper, you take your whole number and your fraction, and you're going to make that into a improper fraction. So 3 times 2 is 6. And then we're going to add our numerator. 6 plus 2 equals 8. That's our new numerator, and we're going to keep our denominator 3. Okay, so 8/6 equals 2 and 2/3. So this is the equivalent fraction of 2 and 2/3. Why? Because how many 3's go to 6? 2. And what's the remainder? 2. So now we're going to do the same for 1 and 1/2. So we're going to keep our denominator. So 2 times 1 is 2. And then we're going to add our numerator, 3. So now we have 8/3 plus 3/2. So we just found the equivalent fraction of each of the mixed numbers, or we found the improper fractions. Okay. Now, do we have the same denominator? No, we don't. We have a 3 and a 2. So we need to find a common denominator. So let me rewrite it as 8/3, 3/2. Okay. So I'm just going to multiply. What's 3 times 2? 6. So I'm going to make my denominators 6. So what do I multiply 2 to get to 6? Well, 3. Because 6 divided by 3 equals 2. Or sorry, 6 divided by 2 equals 3. And when I do the numerator, when I do the denominator, I'm going to do to the numerator. So 3. And then 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 3 equals 9. So I got 9/6 here. Okay. And then what do I multiply 3 by to get to 6? Well, 6 divided by 3 equals 2. What I do to the denominator, but to the numerator. So 3 times 2 equals 6. 2 times 8 equals 16. Okay. Now I'm going to take these fractions, and then I'm going to add them up. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this real quick. Now I have fractions with the same common denominator. So I'm going to go 16, 6, and we got 9/6. Okay. Keep the denominator 6. 16 plus 9, 25. 25/6. That's still your improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. So remember, a fraction is just a division problem. A fraction is just a division problem. So how many times is 6 go into 25? So 6 times 4 is 24. And we got a remainder of 1, and we're going to keep our denominator. So you should get 4 and 1/6. Okay. So let's go ahead and put in there. So 4, 1, 6.
Find 9/4
here
minus
is
4/3.
We gotta have a common denominator. Now, luckily, they already converted it to a improper fraction, 9/4 or 4/3. They already did that step for you already, so that's nice. So, what's a common denominator of 4 and 3? Okay, you can just multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. So let's go ahead and write down 9/4 subtract 4/3. So write that down. 9/4 subtract 4/3. And let's go ahead and look at it real quick. Okay. So we know that we want a common denominator of 12. Why 12? Because we look at our two denominators, you just multiply them. 4 times 3. And that's how you get 12. Okay. That's the most simplest, easiest way to find a common denominator. But if it's a large number, then you want to look at probably a smaller denominator. That's when you look at all your factors. Okay, so same steps. So what do we multiply 3 by to get to 12? So I always like to do this, put a little multiplication, a line, multiplication, a line. So 3 times what number equals 12? Or what's 12 divided by 3? Now, the answer is really on the board right here. So whatever you multiply this denominator by to get to the common denominator, just use that. So if I know 4 times 3 equals 12, well, I'm going to use that denominator. 4, and use it also there too. So what I do to the denominator, I must do the numerator. So 4 times 3 equals 12. 4 times 4 equals 16. Now, I knew already that I was using the denominator of 12. And we were using 4 times 3. So I just looked at the lower denominator. Okay, we'll only use 3. So 3 times 4 equals 12. What I did to the numerator, when I did to the denominator, let's do the numerator. So 3 times 9 equals 27. So, and we're doing subtraction, right? So we got 27 over 12, subtract 16 over 12. And we have our alike denominators, 12. So I'm going to keep that 12. Okay. Now, what's 27 subtract 16? You should have got 11. So the answer is 11 12. So let's go ahead and put that in there. So 11 12. Okay. So the main thing is I think the mistake was not finding the equivalent fraction with mixed numbers. So let's do some more practice real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some examples and see what we can do. So the main thing is when you have your improper fraction, you want to make it into improper. So you got your improper and mixed numbers. So what if you have 3 and 1/4? We want to make that into an improper fraction. So this is mixed. You want improper. Okay. Improper is where the numerator is greater than the denominator. So we're going to keep our denominator as 4. Okay. So how many 4/4 we have here? We have 3 of them. Remember, 4 over 4 that equals 1. Okay. But we don't have 1. We have how many? 3. So this is the same as doing this. 4/4 plus 4/4 plus 4. Okay. So this is the equivalent fraction of 1. This is 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. Okay. So that's why we're keeping the 4s. So how many 4/4 we have here? Let's count. 4, 8, 12. 12 4s. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Okay. So if you forget, so that's I'm just showing you here is the concept. Now, what's 3 times 4? You're going to multiply that. 12. Okay. We got 12 here too. We still got that extra 1/4. So what's 12 plus 1? 13. So if we add 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Okay. So different ways you can go about it. If you're comfortable doing this method, go for it. If you want to write out your whole numbers and then add them up, go for it. So we have 13 fourths. That is your improper. And then your next step is to look at your denominator. Are they alike? If they are, then keep your numerators. If not, then you got to find an equivalent fraction. So let's go ahead and look at the question that you should have got before. Okay. This one's a little bit challenging, but we can do it. Okay. So we got 3 1/4. We're going to subtract 1/2. Okay. So first step you want to do is you want to have improper fractions. As soon as you see this, you want to switch it to improper fractions. So how many total, how many do we have here? We got 3 whole. So we can go 3 times 4 is 12. And we're going to add the 1. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 13 fourths, subtract 1/2. Okay. Now, what did you notice we have here? We have 3 wholes. Okay. And what's our fraction? 4. So let's go ahead and draw it out. So we got, or write it out, sorry. 4/4 plus 4/4 plus 4/4. Okay. So we got 3 wholes. 1, 2, 3. And we got that 1/4 plus 1/4. Okay. So that's what we have right here. And we're going to subtract 1/2. Okay. So do we have a common denominator? No, we don't. So we need to convert this to common equivalent fractions. So you can go 4 times 2 is 8 and use 8. That's great. But if you look at the factors of 2, you got 2, 4, 6, 8. Or 4, 4, 8, 12. Well, you could use 8. 8 works. Why not just use 4? 4 is a lower common. So we're going to keep this one, the 13 fourths. It's just 1/2. We need to go over it to a 1/4. So let's go ahead and put 1/2 equals something 4. That's what we want. We want a common denominator 4. So how do we go? So what do we multiply 2 to get to 4? Well, 2. And we did to the denominator, we did to the numerator. So 2 times 2 is 4, so 2 times 1 equals 2. So now we're going to take the 13 fourths, subtract the equivalent 2 fourths. And we're going to keep our denominator. So what's 13 subtract 2? 11. And how many times does 4 go into 11? Well, that's not 3, it's going to be 2. 2 times 8, 2 times 4 is 8. 11 subtract 8 is 3. You keep a number. So you got 2 3/4. Okay. Now, what if, let's go back here. So you know this. Instead of it being 1/2, what if it was 3/4? Same thing. Convert and convert this to you have your 4 ready. Well, same thing. This is where it gives you the common denominator 4. You would convert it this, so 13 to be 10/4. Okay. Now, what if you didn't convert over? What if you did this? Okay. What if we didn't? So you got 3/4 subtract 3 1/4 subtract 3/4. What if you did this instead? Well, I'm going to go 3 1/4 subtract 3/4. Can I subtract? Well, I still got my common denominator. Okay, that's good. Can I subtract 1 from 3? No, you can't. Can I subtract 1 from 3? No. Okay, so what can I do? Well, I can convert this to improper fraction and subtract it and move on. Okay, but now here's another strategy you can do. Remember we talked about this 3 right here? Remember that 3 is what? 4 over 4. Remember that 3, this is, remember that's 3? Because 4 divided 4 is 1, 2, 3. Now what can we do instead? So what you could do instead is you can actually take one of these and add it to the 1/4 and subtract it. So what if I were to take 1 whole? Or what if I would take 4/4 out of the 3? So let's count. Ready? 1, 2. So now I'm taking away 1 from 3. So instead of that being a 3, that's going to be a 2. And I'm going to take this 4/4. I'm going to add it to my 1/4. So add that. I'm going to take this, put that there. So what's 1 plus 4? 5. 5 what? 5/4. So keeping it. Okay. And I'm going to bring over my whole number, 2. Still a 2 because this is 2. 1, 2. And I'm going to subtract 3/4. Now can I subtract this? Yeah, because 5 is greater than 3. What's 5 subtract 3? 2. Now keep our denominator, 4. And keep our whole number, 2. So 2 2/4 or 2 1/2. So this is another strategy you could use. This one, you have to recognize that this whole number is really 4/4, 4/4, and 4/4 added up. So, and then the main thing is you're finding that equivalent fraction. So 1/2 plus, I don't know, make it 9/10. Okay. So you gotta find a common denominator. So you can go 2 times 10 equals 20. Okay, that works. 1/2 9/10 equals 20 equals 20. So 2 times what equals 20? 2. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 10 equals 20. Then I'm going to do the same to the top numerator. 2 times 9, 18. Okay. Now I'm going to look at this one. 2 times what equals 20? 10. When I do the denominator, do the numerator. When I do the denominator, do the numerator. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 1, 10. Now I got my common denominators, 20. Now add them up. Now I'm going to add up my denominator, my numerator. 10 plus 18, 28. So from here, you can go improper. You go back to a mixed number. You can simplify. A lot you can do here. So I know we want to go fast, but you can go ahead and look at animate math. It'll help you out with the fractions. And let's go back to basic review real quick.